Hi all, and welcome to next week of Summer 2022 Trails to Tasting. And today we are going to be using all of this good stuff behind me to create something called a mug of bitters, because bitters so good for you. They're excellent for your digestive system. They're excellent for stimulating bile in the liver and the gallbladder, as well as helping the stomach to start the digestive process, salivary gland stimulation. So the whole entire digestive process, bitters are great for. So if you are trying to get the most out of the nutrient absorption, bitters are the way to go. And this is anything bitter tasting. So a lot of fruits and natural herbs, natural plants that are found around are great bitters. Many of these bitters are also aromatic too, meaning they smell really nice to us and can be used as mosquito repellent too. So really fun. Today in this mug of bitters cocktail, we will be focusing on mugwort and its uses, as well as catmint, which is a garden variety plant, and orange peel. So let's figure out how to identify mugwort. All right, many people take one look at this plant and say, oh my gosh, it's a weed, or it's ragweed, which is what is one of the primary causes of seasonal allergies in the late summer to fall. This is not ragweed, and I'm gonna teach you how to identify that. Mugwort here has these kind of chicken-like feet or leaves. If you look at them, they're kind of broken off into lobes of 3. And even within each segment is another lobe of 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then as the bigger picture, 1, 2, 3. So they have these like weird chicken feet sort of leaves. And they are hairless on the top. You can see it's just this dark green color. But on the bottom, they are white and they're very soft. You can see there's almost like a suede or velvety appearance to it. And that is not going to be the case with ragweed. The younger leaves at the top are much more lanceolate or lance-like. You can see the dissections are pretty hefty. But as you go down the plant, looking at some of the older leaves, you can see they are much wider, much fatter leaves, much broader than those young leaves. The stems are very hefty, they're very thick, they're almost woody, especially the farther you go down the stem towards the old tissue. Up top, they're a little more flexible, but you can feel the actual edges of the stem, and it's almost like it's a mint, but it's not a square stem, it's just a very ridged stem. One of the biggest determining factors, though, aside from the glaucous woolly undersides of the mugwort leaf, is when you crush that leaf up and then you sniff it, that will smell very, very strongly. This is a pungent aromatic. Again, it can be used in tiki torches and things like that to repel insects, but it is very, very pungent, and many people find, I personally find it smells a little bit like cloves, but some people find that it has a very ammonia-ish or like a chlorinated pool sort of smell as well. To use this in our cocktail, we are going to fill up a jar with our bitters, and we are going to create an infused alcohol, which is a tincture, but we're gonna be making our bitters with gin and then with our plant matter. So our catmint, orange peel, and mugwort. So fill your jar about 1/3 of the way with your mugwort foliage. It is very pungent, very strong, and we don't wanna overdo it with this. Next, we'll add our catmint. This is the catmint. And usually it is found in gardens. As you can see, it's in my garden here. It's found in gardens or in communities very commonly. It's drought resistant. It's great for pollinators. So, wonderful plant to have around. It is a mint. So again, the square stems and oppositely arranged leaves that go perpendicular to each other here. So wonderful. It's a very florally smelling mint, as the flowers are the more attractive. So I like to think of it as a lavender mint hybrid sort of smelling thing. All right, so now we want to fill our jar up to the halfway point with the catmint. So you can harvest the leaves, the flowers, the stems, whatever portion you would like, and fill it halfway up. All right, and now we are going to top it off with orange peels. Once we have our orange peels and our catmint and our mugwort in the jar, we can now top it off. So top it off. And now I'm going to let this steep for about 3 to 5 days. And then my bitters will be ready to strain out and use in our cocktail. All right, we have our bitters mix here. So you can see the color has definitely changed from the mugwort, the orange peel, and the catmint that was added. I left it sit for about 4 days. And now we're ready to make our cocktail. What you will need for it is ginger ale, honey or brown sugar. Either one will work. I want to use honey for this, a little more natural. And your bitters. And because it is a hot day, I will be using ice. So add 2 or 3 ice cubes to your mug. Then you're going to take your bitters mix and you're going to fill it so that it covers the ice cubes. Go. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon, maybe a little less because I'm not a huge sweet fan, of honey. And then add it to your drink and stir it up. All right. And then once you're done stirring, you can add ginger ale. I have these cute little glass bottles, but it's about, if you have a bigger glass or a bigger bottle of ginger ale, it's about 8 to 10 ounces of ginger ale. And there we have it. Let's give our bitters a try. Whoa, so earthy. Wow, that is very earthy. All right, so we have the nice ginger of our ginger ale, but there is this very pungent, I'm not even gonna say it's underlying tones, it is pungent earth. There definitely is the floral aspect from the catmint, but the mugwort is just so potent. It's just like a punch of, like, I don't want to say dirt because that's not very tasty, but the smell after it rains is kind of what we've got taste-wise here. It is really pleasant. And again, as soon as those bitter taste buds are activated, our whole digestive tract is going to be stimulated. So this is really great for before a meal, about 15 to 20 minutes before you have a meal, especially a heavy one. This is gonna really help you out. Plus you have the nice summer flavors of those florals and the citrus of the orange. Wow, that's really good. Might be a new favorite. Oh, this is really good. Did you enjoy this week's session of Trails to Tasting as we made our Muggo bitters? I really hope you do and enjoy this as much as I did because it is delicious. But if you did and you want more delicious goodness, you can subscribe right here to stay tuned year-round for new foraging things and ways to connect to the natural world through art and science.